Let's talk about Gestalt language processing. Now, this is when you learn language by first learning the sentence and then trying to decipher what each word means in that sentence, instead of learning the words and then forming a sentence later. Autistic and ADHD kids can sometimes be Gestalt language processors, and therefore they learn language by scripting, which means they hear you say a certain sentence, which they then relate to the experience or the feeling that they're feeling in that moment, and they think, oh, that sentence means this feeling. And therefore sometimes you'll hear autistic kids say a sentence that doesn't really make sense to the situation because they have copied that script, they have copied that sentence and connected it to a feeling. For example, last week, my youngest said to her sister, "In what world do you think that's acceptable?" And I know that she has simply linked that sentence to the feeling of frustration, because when I'm frustrated, I'll say that to them. But that doesn't mean she necessarily understands what that sentence means. Another great example is when my youngest says, "That's not democratic." Now, I know she doesn't really know what democracy is or what it means to say that's not democratic, but she has picked up that sentence to feel something is unfair, and therefore, anytime she feels like something is unfair, she says, well, that's not democratic. I wanted to know how many of us in our little community are Gestalt language processors, or how many of us have kids that are Gestalt language processors, because it is fascinating to see how kids can pick up language in such a different way when they work that way, from the up down instead of from the down up. Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys.